welcome to the second episode of Tea Talk. No, it's not called Tea Time. I messed up last week and I had a few messages about it. The podcast is not called Tea Time. This is Tea Talk. And if it's the first time for you guys tuning in, I'm called Jack and this is...
I'm Joe.
So I think we're going to get straight into the podcast, and I think it's obvious what we're going to be starting off with, bearing with what colour Joe's got on today.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing blue. We're celebrating the boys.
Absolutely.
Getting our hands back on that beautiful gold trophy.
What a feeling yesterday was when we went and won it.
Yesterday afternoon was unbelievable. Yeah, I was building an IKEA desk, watching the Ryder Cup, and just watching it unfold.
Not this one.
No. This one would have fallen apart if it was. No. Yeah, I mean, got nervy at one stage, to say the least. There was a bit of red on the board, a bit too much for our liking at one point. But the boys at the tail end done a hell of a job. Tommy Fleetwood's drive on 16, was it?
Yeah, I think
just sealed it for us.
I think the mad thing about that is, I think most people at that point, me included, I would not have hit driver at that point.
Yeah, you're changing clubs straight away.
Without a doubt. I mean, 3-wood, down the fairway, not even going for the green. And not only has he taken driver and hit the green, he's looked away, picked his tee up whilst the ball's mid-flight.
Yeah. The early pick-up and walk-off.
Oh, it was just so cold.
Before the ball's even hit his apex. It's like, so clutch.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
I think as well, obviously, I know you wanted to touch on the Junior Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I mean, look, Solheim, Junior Ryder Cup, European clean sweep.
We also the Junior Solheim we won as well.
Did we?
We did.
There you go then. So 4 out of 4. That's just, if that doesn't show what a place European golf is in at the moment, I don't know what does, but we won 20 and a half to 9.5.
Yeah.
For me, that's just incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm all over that. Joy to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well that obviously we've got a lot to go through today with regards to the general Ryder Cup. We'll start off with Hatgate.
Yeah, well, that was a bit mental, wasn't it? I mean, there's been a few stories coming out the woodwork, isn't there, in terms of why he wasn't wearing a hat. You know, he didn't wear a hat in protest to say he should have been paid.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit his head. He's got a coconut head, didn't fit him.
Right, so on that, I'm going to call that a complete and utter lie.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because, fine, he can say that, and these guys have everything made for their feet, trousers, tops, heads, hands.
Yeah.
Everything is literally made to their specification. But on Sunday, when I saw the players coming out, some of them had their hats on. JT had his hat off, which for me is just bizarre because he literally never doesn't wear a hat. But there were snapbacks.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so which obviously fit anyone's head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with a snapback, it's an adjustable strap.
Yeah.
And look, I just don't agree with anything that he said. They're all wearing a snapback other than Colin Morikawa, which, again, weird. Justin Thomas, weird. Mm-hmm. His tan lines, by the way, awful.
Yeah, not good.
But yeah, I mean, the fact he sat there in an interview and said, it just doesn't fit, is just a complete lie.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's probably 8-10 settings on a snapback now. They're fitting. They're fitting child's head. They're fitting.
Exactly. I just can't believe how much of an uproar it caused. The thing is, for me, I think obviously you see a lot of stuff on Twitter. You see everything that's been said, but there's no smoke without fire. I feel like there potentially may be elements of it that aren't true, but there's definitely elements of it that are true.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Then none of them were happy about Brooks' bonus.
No.
Did you read how much that was?
I didn't see that. No, go on.
So, part of his live golf contract, he, as long as he got picked for the Ryder Cup team, he would get a bonus of between $3 to $5 million.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so some of the players obviously, and apparently Cantlay in particular, wasn't very happy about the fact that they weren't getting paid and Brooks was getting paid. That was his choice to stay at the PGA. I think he made the right decision to stay with the PGA. But at the same time, you can't complain that someone's gone off somewhere else, got a contract and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then thought, oh, actually, now the time's come, I want that money as well.
Yeah.
He's got loads of bloody money.
He don't need any more money, does he? He's one of the FedExes, had 18 million quid in his bank account. He's got all these other money in it there straight away. But I take it that's what sparked then the conversation and the rumour mill of him saying they should be paid for this event, because Brooks is then the only one on the team getting paid to be at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I think what a lot of it stemmed from was that, like you said, he wasn't getting paid for it. So it was almost like him not wearing a hat was like a stand to not be officially representing the States. Because obviously their caps every day either said USA or had the US flag on them.
Yeah.
And I think any photo and stuff like that he would post and so on would then go from there to essentially just be branding his country. But then for me, as a golfer, if someone was to say to me, you can play in next year's Ryder, obviously if I was good enough, but you can play in next year's Ryder Cup, I would not want a penny.
No.
I would just want the experience to experience that whole. I do believe that a part of the reason that a lot of that come out was because of how they started.
Yeah, I think their performance has warranted the not really excuse. They are excuses, I would say, to be honest with you. The whole Zach Johnson saying there's been congestion in the camp and they got sniffly noses and they're a bit upset, got poorly tummies. And, there was a lot of noise coming out of that camp. You know? Cantlay and Schauffele were creating a divide in the camp, in the dressing room. All this. There was so much coming out of it, but they just didn't play well on the first day. It's as simple as that.
And that's it. And it's not. I think we shouldn't take anything away from Europe. I think a lot's been taken away from how good we were the first.
Oh my god, yeah.
The first morning session, even the afternoon session, we were good. But then the second morning session as well.
Yeah.
No one can take away from how impressive the golf that we played was. But then, on the other hand, they were just not good enough. Brooks and Scheffler.
Yeah.
9 and 7.
Yeah.
Which, in any walk of life, is embarrassing.
Yeah.
They were 7 over par for 11 holes.
Yeah.
As two professionals, not just professionals, but two of the best golfers in the world.
World number one.
World number one. Yeah. And previous world number one.
5-time major champion.
The fact that they were 7 over for 11 holes is criminal.
Yeah. Yeah, not good at all. Not good at all. But
I mean, I love to see it.
So good to see.
If anyone listened to the last podcast, they know how I feel about Brooks.
Yeah.
So seeing them crumble, sit on the back of a buggy crying, it was just literally music to my ears.
Yeah.
I felt like a kid at Christmas, and I was just sat watching it as a spectator.
Yeah. I was sitting there and I was just thinking, I know what Jack's reaction is right now. I can see him jumping around his living room, just absolutely loving life. But the way that Hovland and Aubert, as he should be saying it now, played, just forced their hand to play that way because they were just so strong.
I just don't think these big players expected us to come out as strong as we did.
Absolutely not.
Our team was arguably the weakest team that we've had in the Ryder Cup for a long time.
Correct.
But we had the rookies that we had weren't as strong as some of the rookies we had before. We didn't have people that had as much experience in the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
I mean, you have Rory, Rahm, Hovland, which are 3 of the best players in the world. Yeah. Other than them 3, you're looking at Fleetwood. I'm not saying no one's a good player, but McIntyre, Aubert, Højgaard, all 3 of them. Straka, so all 4 of them. Arguably, Oberg you would never even heard of a month, 2 months ago.
Nope.
Straka, again, similar, to be fair. Over the last 6 months, you've never really heard much of his name. And then, obviously, McIntyre, we know because he's obviously British and things like that. I feel like that's why we know more of him.
Yeah, definitely.
But one player, I would say, that let us down, not necessarily let us down, but that I just wasn't impressed by. I'm going to give you a guess of who I'm going to say.
Justin Rose?
No.
No, go on.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
I don't think, if he qualifies, fine. I know he qualified this year. But if he was out of them qualification spots,
Yeah.
I don't think he should ever go to the Ryder Cup again.
Really?
He's got 1 point over the 2 Ryder Cups that he's played in.
Right.
Now, I know it's not easy to win matches.
Absolutely.
The one match he did win, he was draining putts from everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he's not a good player.
No.
I think he's a great player. To be a major champion, you have to be a good player. But I just don't think he's any good at match play.
It's maybe not his format.
It's just a completely different game.
Yeah.
You're not... Like, he ended up having to take the flag out because nothing was going in.
Yeah.
And that's not him.
He's not done that for years. Well,
No.
a couple of years since COVID, is it?
So look, I don't necessarily... I'm not sitting here saying he's not a good player, because any professional that's made it onto the PGA Tour alone is clearly a good player, let alone winning the US Open in the fashion that he did. But I just don't think match plays for him. Like, you look at people like Rahm, you look at Rose, loves it. Like, don't get me wrong, no, he lost his match on Sunday, but to a very fired up, informed Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah.
You can't disagree. And he tried to fight. Like, the putts he was rolling in, he kept bringing it back and then losing and bringing it back. He just never gave up.
No.
With Fitzy, it almost was like you knew what was coming.
It's kind of over before it started.
It was never
just because.
It was never. You never really sat there and thought, "Oh, he'll bring this back."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when you've got players like Rose, when Rahm was behind with Scheffler, I mean, what a match that was, by the way.
Great match.
But when he was behind, you always thought, "There's a chance. There's a chance here." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Max Homer, have to give an honourable mention.
He was brilliant all week. Absolutely brilliant all week. I mean, his ball striking is just absolutely phenomenal.
Do you know what? I just find his demeanour really weird. But like, he's almost so calm at all times.
He's always too calm at some points.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially in Ryder Cup, like, I didn't see a lot out of him. I may have just not seen the moments where he did let out a roar or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing whatsoever. But
No.
he's so calm.
Mm.
And it's probably a good thing because it keeps him stable when he needs to hit the shot that he needs to. I mean, down, I think, is it 12, the path that
No, do you know the thing that made it for me from him was 18 on Sunday. He was green side, like behind the bunker, for 2.
Oh, he took a penalty drop.
He took an unplayable, which is a penalty drop.
Yeah.
In the fashion that things were going,
Yeah.
if he'd have lost that hole, we'd have won the Ryder Cup there and then. So to have the balls to go, do you know what? I'm not playing that ball from there. I'm going to take a penalty drop, and I back myself that I'll make up or down, and he's not holding that putt.
Yeah.
And he did exactly that.
Yeah.
But anyone, whether that's a European player, an American player, and literally anyone in the game of golf does that.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Extremely impressive.
And still left himself, what, 6, 7
maybe
foot,
more,
maybe?
Yeah, maybe 10
a bit
feet.
more.
I don't know.
On the return putt, so that's some big cojones there.
With all of it on the line.
Yeah, I mean, fair play.
Realistically, he misses that putt. It's over there and then.
Yeah.
And then there's questions raised. Should he have taken that penalty drop?
Correct.
And there would have been a lot of uproar from Americans to say, I can't believe he's done that. He's literally just lost it for us.
Yeah.
Like, what could have happened? The position they were in at that moment in time, anything could have happened. It could have swung either way.
Yeah, of course. I think. Yeah, of course.
Until Tommy Fleetwood stepped up onto the tee.
Yeah, correct. And I've seen a lot on social media as well from American sports pages slating Ricky Fowler about his concession of that hole.
Do you know what
I get? But unless I've completely misunderstood it, Fleetwood had 2 putts from 3.5 foot.
No, so did he have that?
Because Fowler dunked his first one in the water.
Yeah, then put his second one onto the green. So he was on the green for 3.
He missed the first putt.
For 4, so we had it for 5.
And Fleetwood was on the green, rolled it to 3.5 foot for eagle. So
I
do
think
putts for par for 3.5 foot.
He did, but in them situations,
you let him have the first one, don't you?
Yeah, I think with adrenaline and things like that, anything could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
He could hit that putt. It could lip out,
Power lip,
go to another 4 feet.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, oh, I have to hold this now to try and get that half a point.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I'll tell you why. It's because if he missed the putts and they ended up halving the hole, Fowler could have still then gone and won the match. That made it go to Dormy, which is why we were guaranteed the half.
Right. So
the win of the hole
made that match go dormy.
So they were.
So
I think what was it? That was the 16th hole.
He was 2 up.
So
16,
at this point,
wasn't he?
Fleetwood was 2 up.
Yeah.
So if they'd have half that, it would have gone. No, he must have only been 1 up.
It must.
If they'd have half the hole, he would have then gone to 2.
Yeah.
And then he won the hole. Sorry, he'd gone to 2, and it'd have been dormy.
Yeah.
Whereas if they'd have half the hole, it'd have still been 1.
Yeah.
And then Fowler would have had the chance to then win 17 and 18 to win the match.
Yeah.
Which they're clutching at straws massively, but at the same time, you make him hit that putt.
It's to get the winning point. It's to get the point to win the Ryder Cup on that green, regardless of what putt it is.
Do you know what?
You let him have that first putt.
You do, but I would also argue that if he did, Fowler didn't want to be in that position to have that, because there was a lot of spectators around that green.
Yeah, loads.
If Fleetwood hits that putt and the ball goes in that hole, the noise and the roar and just the overall buzz on that green at that point, Fowler doesn't want to deal with that.
No. I feel like at that point as well, it was hot. It was a long day. They were just at that point just had enough. He was thinking, look, all right, you ain't missing them.
Yeah,
rightly or wrongly, in that situation, he's just thought, oh, you've had enough. You know, he's seen the other 2 matches. What was McIntyre? Was he 3 up or 2 up at that point as well?
2 maybe. Yeah.
Lowry was tied.
Yeah, but then went and won the hole after that.
Won the hole after anyway.
Yeah.
Tommy was 2 up, 1 up.
Yeah.
So there was blue on the board after him anyway.
I do just think
Fowler was just thinking,
I
get it over and done with.
I get that.
I think that's wrong personally. I would still.
No, I just think that if the ball, I kind of see why he's done it. If the ball hits the hole and goes in, the momentum and the fire and everything like that just erupts from around that green.
Big time.
Whereas if he gives it to him, there's the excitement there. We've retained it, that we've won the Ryder Cup, but at the same time, he doesn't it's not the same energy. Do you know what I mean? It's not as up. You're not as upbeat. You're not as. I mean, you're still upbeat, but you're not going crazy because the ball's hit the hole and he's not getting that moment.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want the person he played against to have that moment,
to have the satisfaction of holding that putt.
I wouldn't want it.
No, exactly.
I wouldn't want to be the match that's giving it away.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He knows that people in front have lost their matches.
Yeah.
But if he's the deciding match, which in the end he was anyway.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But at the same time, I can kind of understand why he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, it's a real strange one. There was a lot of twists and turns in the week, in the 3 days, weren't there? Definitely. You know, I think Luke Donald made a brilliant choice, switching round 4 balls and foursomes mornings, afternoon. It seemed to work.
One thing I'll say about Luke Donald is you can see how much the players respect him.
Massively.
They were singing 2 more years. And I think if that doesn't say anything, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there was a huge level of respect and trust between everybody in that camp when they're looking from the outside in, from captain, vice captains, players, up and down the chain there. It was just absolutely joy to watch.
I think just the whole in Italy, the fans, the weather, the course, the players, the commentary. One thing I will say is I think the commentary is great, but the coverage is awful.
Wasn't good. No, it wasn't good. You missed
for the singles.
Yeah,
you saw the first 6 matches for the majority of the day.
Yeah,
and then after that, when they'd finished, then you saw a little bit of the others.
Yeah,
you didn't really see much of them at all.
No, it wasn't well rounded.
I think they need to fix coverage, but overall, just an unbelievable weekend and of course result.
Yeah.
But moving on to another 2 years' time, New York.
Yeah.
Bethpage. Can we retain it?
2025. Can we retain it in American soil? I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying if we've got the core of that team that were there this year.
Yeah.
In Bethpage.
Yeah.
Which I think there will be. I think the automatic qualifiers will remain pretty much the same. You're expecting your Rory, Rams, Hatton, Fleetwood. Those 4 you are pretty much nailed on already, aren't they? Let's be honest. And if they're not qualified, they are going as picks, aren't they? Hovland as well, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think
any one of them 4, probably Rory, Hovland, Rahm, more likely probably going to be number 1 in the world at that point anyway, I'd say.
Yeah.
Very good chance of that.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a few different picks, I would say.
Yeah, I
couple
mean, there's
that
people
missed
that are
out
probably going to come on the scene.
that are probably going to come on.
Moronk, you never know how he's going to progress.
Yeah, correct. Moronk, maybe Rasmus Højgaard instead, maybe the other brother.
Maybe both of them could be there at the same time.
Correct, both of them. There's a lot of talent coming through, and you know, it's really exciting for Europe at the minute, and I think we are only getting stronger. We are losing experience, like you said earlier. You know, the second oldest in the team was Lowry at 36.
Yeah,
there was only one person over 40.
Was he 36?
Yeah, he's 36.
Is he?
Yeah. Rose is what, 40?
Rose is, I think Lowry might be 34.
Fine.
Because I think Rose is 41, and they were saying on the commentary that he's the oldest by like 7 years.
There you go then. So
Rose, I don't think will be there.
Rose won't go, but I think Lowry's then going to be the oldest, and it's still going to be shy of 40 as the oldest person there. It's a lot of experience we've lost because previous Ryder Cups we would have had.
I think Lowry was relatively lucky to be there anyway.
I think he knows that. But
yeah, look, I mean, there's so many players. Like, we would never have guessed 2 years ago that there was going to be a lad that's at Texas Tech University that was going to come through, turn pro, do what he did, and then beat the Ryder Cup.
Absolutely not. And
I think being so far away, you just can't predict anything.
And seriously justify his pick as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think he put a foot wrong all week.
With regards to the US, their team, I think, is going to be very similar again.
Yeah, correct. I think you're right. I think there's a few players that will feel seriously hard done by looking at a few of the performances that didn't get taken.
Something interesting today.
Tell me.
Tiger Woods.
Okay. To
be captain of the next Ryder Cup. Now, I mean, it's it's just speculation.
Wow. Okay.
It's nothing. There's no. I don't think there's any truth to it as it stands.
Yep.
But that's the sort of person you want to be a captain.
If you're Team USA
on a respect level,
yeah. If you're Team USA and you're leading up to the Ryder Cup and you're hearing that Tiger Woods is going to be your captain, you are doing anything and everything you can.
Not even just as players, I think as fans.
As a fan as well. Wow. Yeah.
And
trying to win back the Ryder Cup on home soil with him as your captain.
Yeah.
For everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be phenomenal. Ryder Cup in 2 years' time. I'm already excited for it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to go.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into how much it will cost and things like that, because don't get me wrong, it'd be amazing to be there in Europe and stuff and have the home crowd, but to also be there in America, in New York, at Bethpage, would just be silly good.
It'd be just a phenomenal experience just to witness an away Ryder Cup and see what the difference is, because, I mean, I worked with other fans this week. Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The noise that they were generating was just sensational. One of our mates went, didn't he, and just said it was one of the best experiences of his life. So, so jealous, so desperate to get to one, whether it's a home one or away one. I don't care. I want to go to one just to experience it. But
the only thing I'd say is in New York at the minute is currently underwater.
Is it?
Yeah. They've had a load of flooding and
right.
Stuff like that. So hopefully this time in 2 years the weather's a little bit nicer.
Yeah, so it settles down a little bit. And
could be in a bit of trouble there.
Yeah. So it settles down a bit in the golf course.
But then again, I'd say, do you know one thing I think that the US struggled with this week was the rough. Missing fairways out there is tough anyway. But coming over here and having the rough that they're not used to is never easy.
Yeah. What do you make of that, Gritty? Because I've seen a lot. We read a lot and we watch a lot anyway. There's been a lot of noise around the course, right? And they're saying that it's been set up for us Europeans.
Yep.
Yeah. The rough's been brought in. The fairway's been narrower.
Yeah.
The fairways are massive from what we've seen, right?
Right.
It's a driver's golf course. We know that absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's been the lack of preparation by the USA? Proper preparation, or do you think that it was genuinely set up to appease us more?
I think it's a mix of both. I think they made the green slower for us.
Yeah,
we're not, because we're the Europeans. The only issue is, I think, is they say, they've made to suit all the Europeans. Name one of them Europeans that doesn't play out in the States every week.
Correct. Yeah.
For the last God knows how long.
Yeah.
Even the rookies. Oberg's been in Texas for the last probably, 4 years maybe.
Yep.
You've got Rory, he's been out there for years.
Yep.
Larry plays on the PGA Tour. Rose on the PGA Tour,
Yep.
Hovland on the PGA Tour, Rahm on the PGA Tour. You've got. I get it. They grew up a lot more
Stracker's
around.
got an American accent.
Stracker's like 50-50 UK to UK. Sorry, Austrian to.
I'd say he's got a Southern American accent, like.
Yeah, but then so does Rahm, Hovland, but because they've spent a lot of time in the States, right? But we have a lot of players that grew up with what we currently had, slower greens, etc.
Yeah.
I think that it was easier for us to get used to than it was for the Americans, because we all of our players just almost had to go back to old habits, whereas the Americans had to go to like new habits, which is never easy to do.
No.
But then again, on the flip side, they didn't help themselves get used to that.
No,
because they weren't there early enough. You got to think, right? So they essentially had 5 weeks off.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned this on the last pod. When you can play as much golf as you like in that 5 weeks and practice as much as you like. It is not competitive golf.
No.
We had all 12 of our European players playing at the BMW PGA mid-September.
Yeah.
Which was what, 4 weeks before? 4.5 weeks before?
No, not even that. It was the 16th of September. So it was 2 weeks before.
Oh, right. So
13 days before.
Okay, so 13 days before, all 12 of our players are playing in a competitive tournament.
Yeah.
And then they fly to Rome and practice on that course. So 3 weeks before our players have gone, are at the BMW, their players are already over, just chilling, practicing, doing what they're doing, playing the same course for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Our players are still doing their thing, living every day as they normally would do within the season. Do I think that had a part of it? Maybe a minor part. I don't think it played a massive part. I just think that we were just a better team and we just played the better golf, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I think there's been a lot of hearsay, a lot of excuses, rumours, murmurs, whatever the word might be, in terms of, like I say, illness, congestion, golf course setup, hats, money, dressing room drama, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
It boils down to, fortunately for us, unfortunately for the Americans, the Europeans played better golf over 3 days. And look, we go to best page 2 years' time, and it could be the reverse. I really hope not. But
I don't doubt that it's going to be, because I think that a lot of stories, depending on what country you're in, you got to think in Europe, you're going to have a lot more reporters that are European, on the European side of things. Stories can get fabricated, they can get turned into things that they're not. Words can get twisted and things like that. That can happen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's smoke without fire, but things can get made up to try and rustle the camp. I think that's exactly what he did.
That's exactly it. European bias just absolutely just put the wheels in motion with those stories, didn't it? And just made them so much bigger than what they needed to be, and just tried to get in their heads. And we were living there rent-free for a few days.
It's a shame that it's only every 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that it's just the best event out there. I think with the majors, it's arguably, I would put it up there with the Masters, if not better.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Love the Masters, love the whole thing. It's at the same place every year. It's always at Augusta. There's the Green Jackets play for. The history behind it is just incredible.
Yeah.
But the Ryder Cup is just on another planet.
Yeah.
I just don't think anything will ever come close to it.
No, I agree. Can't compare for me. I mean, the majors are what they are. They're standalone. You can argue them in their bubble themselves, them four, but Ryder Cup just can't be messed with.
No,
that
exactly.
It's just something different.
Seeing people like Brooks Koepka-lose 9 and 7, it's just up there for me. I wonder what the odds were.
What, for the biggest Ryder Cup loss ever?
Here's something for you. So I saw on, it might have been Twitter, someone tweeted X, whatever it's called. We're 90s kids. It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Someone said that they are might have been 18 handicap.
Yeah.
They think that they wouldn't have lost 9 and 7 if they chose a partner from their golf club and played against Brooks and Scheffler that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, all I'm saying is I'm backing myself
Yeah.
with another probably scratch golfer
Yeah.
to make a couple of pars
Yeah.
in that match.
Yeah.
They made 7 bogeys
Yeah.
in 11 holes.
11 holes.
Actually, no, it wasn't 7 bogeys because they doubled the first.
Fine.
And they doubled the second.
Okay. So just 7 over for 11 then?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they've doubled the first and the second.
Yeah.
Now, it's a rogue shout, right?
Right.
But I reckon there's a lad I work with called
Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
He's a PGA pro.
Yeah.
If I was to pair up with him
Okay.
and go against them on that day and they played the same way they did,
Yeah.
we're not losing 9 and 7.
No.
Because we're making at least one par.
Yeah.
We can par the first
Yeah.
and bogey the second.
Yeah.
We're 2 up through 2.
Up. Yeah.
We're not losing that. They can then do whatever they want after
Yeah.
that. They can beat us 8 and 6 or whatever and turn it around.
Not 9 and 7.
We wouldn't lose 9 and 7. And I will firmly stand by the fact, if you, not even just me, if you pluck out 2 scratch golfers that are good scratch golfers, they're handicapped to travel, you can go and play another course and shoot your handicap around wherever you play, they wouldn't lose 9 and 7 to them.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, was it?
It was ugly.
It was very ugly.
It was, for them, I mean, for us,
it was fantastic for us to watch, but you could see the despair. I mean, you see the camera shots of Scotty sat there with his wife.
Yeah, see, do you know, and do you know what?
I don't like to see that. I genuinely don't, because I really like Scotty Scheffler, and I know you don't like Brooks Koepka. I do not have a problem with him. You know, you go get a new job offer, they offer you more money to do the same thing.
Not the same.
You're gonna take it.
Not the same.
That's the way I see it.
No, it's not the same. Why do you see it like that?
I don't.
Come on, why do you see it like that?
So if someone said to you,
yeah,
do your job now,
yeah,
right, but they'll give you £24,000 more a year to do
right,
the exact same role in a different company.
But it's not the same.
How comes?
Because Live Golf Tour isn't the same as the PGA. They were told, when they were offered to go over to Live, there was a high possibility at that time, no majors, no Ryder Cup, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just Live.
It's all part of that contract, isn't it?
I get that's the no, but I get that's the risk they take.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, as a golfer, as a professional golfer, when you're growing up and you're learning about golf, about the history of it, and where you want to go, for me, the one place I want to play is on the biggest stages at Augusta, at the Masters, at the Ryder Cup, at the Open, at the US Open, and they're just what? They're so privileged that they can just throw it all away for a couple million. I'm not having it.
I completely agree.
No, you don't agree.
No, but I understand I do agree with what you're saying.
But you just said if someone offered you the same
I understand why they went. I'm not saying I would go. I understand why they went.
Look, I get for people like Poulter, I completely understand.
Poulter, Stenson, Westwood, all them boys, Pat Perez, like
I get that.
10 of your career.
They're coming to the end of their career. They've got young families. They want to stay with their family a lot more. They're getting old. They're getting older, and they're not competing as well as they did before.
For sure.
For people like Brooks, Matt Wolff, people like that.
Cam Young left when he was number 1 in the world.
Cam Young.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase Koepka's shit anyway.
Yeah. Like DeChambeau,
Bryson,
awful golf. Like
the fact that these guys have gone already, a lot of it I think had to do with wanting to be the poster boy of Live.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that I mean, I feel like every pod we're going to keep coming back to a bit about Live and how we don't like it. But at the same time, I think that they've made the decision. That's fine. I think picking Brooks was a brave call because now other Live players are going to think that they've got a chance every time. It depends on how they're doing majors, how they're playing, and things like that. I think it's rogue that Bryson didn't get picked.
There's already been interviews with him.
If that's the case, that you're picking Brooks and you're happy to put the political bits of it aside and just focus on the golf,
he has to go.
The fact Bryson wasn't picked over JT, mental.
And Sam Burns.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about.
Do you know what I mean? But Bryson, he's 58 this year. He's won twice on Live.
Yeah,
like he is playing very good golf.
His 58 wasn't even that long ago.
No, exactly. And like really, really, for the Americans, it was someone that you probably needed to take there. Good driver of the golf ball. You need a good driver of the golf ball. This golf course, good with his wedges. Just a solid all-round player.
I think a lot of it as well. I wouldn't even say you have to look at too much. I mean, I'd say probably 70% of their playing ability and 30% of how they are in front of crowds, how they can deal with pressure,
and he's good at all of that.
I think JT he's almost like Mr. Ryder Cup. I get it.
Yeah,
like,
he is. Yeah.
When you think about the Ryder Cup over the last few years, well, I say few Ryder Cups, you think of JT, you think of Rory.
Yeah.
You think of Spieth's shot over the top.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got them thoughts in your head, but picking him was just the wrong thing to do. Did you see the stat on strokes gained?
No, I didn't. Go on, hit me.
So, if I remember this correctly, Jordan Spieth was at the bottom of the US. Actually, was at the bottom of both teams at -9. So he lost 9 shots on the rest of the field.
Wow.
Justin Thomas lost -7.5 shots in the field. And then third last was Bob McIntyre.
Okay.
Lost, I think it was just 7 on the dot.
Yeah.
But having the two, I mean, it doesn't surprise you with the results.
Yeah.
But when you need to go and have something, you've got something to prove. Everyone's questioning the fact you're there anyway.
Yeah.
But then going with them, I wouldn't say even strokes gained, it was strokes lost.
Strokes lost coming out with that.
Bad.
Yeah,
Rahm was +6.
Yeah, I mean, he went bonkers.
I think Homer was the same.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I had a feeling at the start Rahm was going to be the guy for Europe. I felt like he was going to just go AWOL and just go absolute beast mode on the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And he did. He absolutely did. I mean, it flagstick on 17 on the first day, chipped in twice on the same day. His recovery on 10 on Sunday, when the ball was like up chest high, and he's at 180.
And do you know what? That shot is criminal, because I don't know if you saw Justin Rose try the same thing about 20 minutes later from a little bit of a better lie.
I didn't. No, I didn't see it.
So he wasn't as in the ditch. His feet weren't in the ditch. He was just outside. Yes, it was an uphill lie. He ended up about 40 yards short of the green.
Really?
John Rahm has so much upper body strength.
Silly.
And so much control of the golf ball. He's able to do pretty much what he wants with it when he wants with it.
Yeah.
If we're hitting that shot, I reckon it's going about 30 yards out of the ditch.
I'm hitting the bridge and it's coming back and taking a tooth out.
So I've actually got a question for you that I was going to ask you on the pod. First tee.
Yeah.
Friday morning. So it's the first lots of tee shots.
Yeah.
You know how far I think it was like 300 yards to the bunker on the right hand side. Where's your ball going?
Where's my ball going?
Yeah.
It's going about 30 yards in front of me. I'm struggling to grip the club.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
And I'm topping it.
Okay.
Low left.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've done it in our local channels. And that's about 4 people watching me.
Yeah.
If I'm at the Ryder Cup,
hitting
that goal shot,
yeah,
I'm sorry, there's no way.
I genuinely, and I said this to one of the boys the other day, I think that if I was put in that position with the level that I'm at, and you give me a driver, I think there's a very, very high chance that I don't make contact.
Yeah, very good chance you miss the ball completely.
I think that I'm just trying to, at that point you're stood there, you're just trying to make contact. Not only are you thinking, I've got to hit a good shot, I've got to hit the fairway, I've got thousands of people watching behind me, millions of people watching at home.
Yeah.
I think there's a very, very high chance it's a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the top of the golf ball.
Yeah, and you turn around, you're like, look, guys, it was just a practice swing. Doesn't count.
You could do what Zach Johnson done, and that's practicing and just hit it against a team up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was at Augusta. He did that at Augusta.
I was just practicing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that it's either being like an extremely like thin top.
Yeah.
Or like a proper top.
Yeah.
Or I'm literally I'm making contact with the ground about 3 yards behind the ball because my arms are just going to feel like jelly.
Yeah.
So we sit there and slate some of the tee shots. Oh my God, he did it 20. He's missed the fairway by 10 yards. I think I could potentially miss the ball by 10 yards.
Yeah. I can't imagine what the pressure and everything they're feeling, especially coming down the back end of some of those days, the 4 balls, especially, we lost a few points. Yeah, you're trying to gain a few points back as well. We're trying to half a match to get a point. I cannot imagine what the pressure is. First tee shot, I'm like this, and I'm creating a nice big divot in the ground with the ball, nothing, and it's going 20 yards.
Rory McIlroy, right?
Yeah.
arguably one of the best players of our generation.
Yeah.
He said yesterday that his caddy, during the singles match, offered him some food on the back nine, and it's the only time he's never ever been able to stomach something on the golf course.
Really?
Because he was so nervous.
Wow.
This guy has won majors, played multiple majors, won so many tournaments.
Yeah.
The one time he's too nervous to take a bite of some food to give him a boost of energy is when he's playing the Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
and I think if that doesn't speak volumes on the event that it is for all of the players and the fans, I don't know what will. Because that is mental.
Yeah, that just shows the pressure that they just put themselves under, and that the event puts them under as well.
Yeah,
that's mental.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I need to hear from you on the Joe LaCava situation on the green.
Yeah, we have to touch on this.
Waving the hats.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine, right? You want to celebrate, you want to wave the hats, no problem.
Yeah.
When it comes to interfering with a player's preparation for a golf shot, where are you at? Do you think he interfered too much? Do you think Rory was walking towards him more to make him interfere? Where are you at?
If anyone can see and look at the video that's a wider angle, for me, the caddy should not be spending more time on that green than the player celebrating. Now, Cantlay had walked off, given Rory the daggers. He claimed he didn't see anything. He literally was looking directly at it. He's given Rory the daggers and he's walked off. His caddy has then walked around and thought, do you know what? I'm going to go back for a bit more.
Yeah.
Waved his hat around a bit more. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the shithousery of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that element.
Yeah.
But have a bit of respect. If that was the other way round, they would be fuming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think you can't have one rule for one and another rule for another, and I'll stand by that. I think that what he did originally was fine, but then he just took it too far.
Absolutely.
I think Rory he could have reacted worse. I think you never know how the putt would have gone if that didn't happen. But then you can just see how much it did affect him by the clips of the car park.
It really affected him. And like you say, reacts to your putt, just hold a bomb just to get like a half or win the hole, whatever it was.
Yeah.
When that level of respect has been crossed on the green and you're distracting a player's preparation, whatever, that's when it's unsportsmanlike, and there's a level of sportsmanship that still has to be kept in no matter what competition.
Yeah.
Rory handled himself really well on the green.
I think he did.
And he done really well to bottle it up until that competition was over, because it showed a good level of maturity to do that. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, when he saw it was Bones, wasn't it? He didn't see Joe LaCava. It was Bones in the car park. But he just couldn't at that point. When competition's over, that's fine.
But he wasn't having a go. Bones has actually come out and said he wasn't having a go at Bones. He was just saying,
absolutely.
I think he was venting, and he was almost saying, like, you need to, sort, as if, if me and you were to get into a bit of a scuffle out in town or something like that, and one of us would say, for example, you'd got into a scuffle, you'd walked off, someone would come to me, they're shouting at me, you need to sort your mate out.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing.
Exactly that. Yeah,
you know what I mean. But Lowry dealt with it very well.
Yeah,
pulled him away, put him in the car, said, look, just leave it. Yeah. And then Rory did exactly what he needed to do on Sunday. He waited, he balled it up, and he used that anger, energy, everything, and just put it into his golf.
That was his fuel. That was his fuel for his victory, and he'd done everything he needed to do.
And I tell you what, if there's someone you don't want to add fuel to their fire, it's Rory McIlroy.
It's a hungry, angry Rory McIlroy. And boy, did it show.
Big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely big time.
Final word from you then on the Ryder Cup?
I think it was just the most amazing weekend. I think it was nervy at times. It was exciting. There was just some unbelievable golf. Just proud, really, to be a European.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Well, look, I'm still representing us. I've got the blue on. I'm sleeping in this. I'm showering in this. I'm going to work in this.
I'm actually colourblind. I thought this was blue when I picked it up this morning.
I'm wearing this for the next week solid. I'm still buzzing. Struggled to sleep last night. I had the best weekend. It was so good. The golf was incredible.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Bethpage Black.
100%.
2025.
Yeah.
Loved doing a podcast. Good episode. That was good to talk about.
Definitely.
Can't wait for the next one. Thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube watching, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to give us a 5-star on Spotify if you've enjoyed as well. And
even if you haven't enjoyed, just chuck the 5 stars on.
They're worth them. They're worth them. But just keep an eye and an ear out for the next one, and we'll see you then.